hitting up a J right after. We got off the phone, yeah, we just reconnected. Been a while since we spoke. You tell me that it's been destined, but the uncertainty, baby, it made you shy away. Now you're not saying I won't make it. What you trying to say?
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Starting off the morning here. Woke up at 4:50, 5 o'clock today, and then got ready. Went and taught the early morning seminary class. I'm going to be doing that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I took a couple of the kids to school, including my son, and then to Jersey Village High School, and then came back here home, taking my mother-in-law to a dental appointment this morning, and then we'll head into the office. Got some meetings. Looks like I got a little bit of a, look at that, we're going a little bald there in the front. So should be a good day. Hope you're all doing great.
Everybody, there we are, done with the UT Health Dental School here, down here in Houston. NRG is like NRG Center, where the Houston Texans play is, and the Houston Rodeo. It's probably about I don't know, probably 5 miles away, 4 miles away, pretty close by. So now we'll get to the office. So hope you're all doing great. Let's go. Houston Community College A-Leaf. It's me leaving, everybody. Hope you're doing great. It's about 6:30, leaving the office, going to
showing results for Houston Community College A-Leaf
entrepreneurship event held at the Center of Entrepreneurship over at the Houston Community College in A-Leaf. So gonna be heading to that right now. Let's see. So we're just 8 minutes away. Productive day. Got into the office around the noon hour. Had actually prepared meal this time. Some tuna, some tuna salad and a croissant, and then had a conference call at 10 to know more about Salesforce and what I can be doing there to leverage it and to teach it. And then number 2 was to be able to have a team meeting where we're looking at our pipeline and people that are coming on board. And then Thursday, and then after that, 3:30, had an interview till almost about 5. And then from 5 to about 6:30 was working through emails, responding to people that needed an answer on certain things, and certain things needed some certain things I need to do, right, from a role perspective. And I don't like to spend too much time in email from the perspective of just being in there to get to like a 0. And so there were people that I'm reaching out to. Some people, they respond better in email versus a phone call. Sometimes setting up an appointment with people is best done in email, because then I can send a calendar invite. So I did have a little bit of a snafu over the weekend. There's people that were invited to a February 7th, 2020 book club event, and they're getting multiple, like literally some people were getting like hundreds of them. So I made a phone call to the corporate office. It was a server error. I don't know how it got through, but what happens is my Outlook, it updates with Salesforce, and so I think it kept creating this thing and is in this vicious cycle. So one of the guys told me he was literally getting like every 2 minutes or so, and he thought it was maybe an error in his email account, so he blocked me, and it still just kept coming. And then so finally yesterday at around 10, he said he stopped getting emails, but every 2 minutes or 5 minutes or so he'd get an email inviting me to the exact same calendar invite. It's absolutely crazy. He's got so much junk mail for me. So it's got to roll with the punches, right? Had a great conversation with a friend of mine, Susan Wynn, and she's an author and speaker of Be Better is her hashtag, Be Better Not Bitter. And so we were talking about getting her on a podcast show with Now Media, and they're kind of working out some details. So I was giving her some of my thoughts and advice on what she can do, not necessarily to negotiate, but basically how to be able to make sure that she's just to make sure she's like looking at all the angles as they look at just the opportunity. And so she's going to start a weekly show. And I said, one of the most powerful women in the last like 40 years was probably Oprah, and she really had great influence because she shared people's stories. Dr. Phil literally came out of her show, and so it wasn't necessarily her own brand of, hey, this is what I'm thinking. It was the power of, this is what someone else has done. And so that can be really influential as you start thinking about sharing people's stories. So that's what I said that you should go off of, is really sharing other people's stories. And great conversation, great to catch up, and it's good to be able to have those people kind of in your close group. I recently had read a book, someone sent me some clips about like your powerful 5, your powerful 50, your powerful 100. So the people that are in your network that you want to keep super close, and you're raving fans of them and they're raving fans of yours, and so that way you're growing together. And so if you don't have a strong 100 in your network, you might need to have a look at rebuilding a different network. That's where I'd say college has a lot of value. So, I see a lot of people like asking about the value of college just because college is going up, income really isn't there to justify, and so it makes people a little bit nervous, right? That they're putting a lot of money in, and they're going to get the return that they want on that investment. And so one of the things that isn't quantified is the people that you meet there. So that's one thing, just to be able to put that out there in your mind, is if you're not thinking about going to college, how are you going to make sure that you meet like-minded people that want to go where you want to go, and have that right mindset? So sometimes that human factor can be an absolute wild card for those that just go to college and just bounce. They go to college and leave, go to college and leave. So you see that at commuter schools or junior colleges or technical colleges. You need to have a look at what you're doing at college and thinking to yourself, should I be doing my schooling differently? I think there's a lot of value in building that human network that you can only find at your local college, or having to develop it somewhere else, maybe a local chamber of commerce, maybe a network marketing business, maybe through different associations like a club, book club, or intramurals, extracurricular activities, things like that you can get involved with. So if you're not, you might find yourself really struggling to grow and develop because you're missing the human element in your life that's going to see things that you don't see, are going to bring forth opportunities that's not aware in front of you. All right, everybody, let's go to this meeting. Sherm's out.
All right, everybody, there we go. 8:30, heading out of the Center of Entrepreneurship. Great conversations, helping some of the entrepreneurs. So a lot of them have a business, or they're in the beginning stages of it. So helping them see for themselves what their vision is, what their mission is, thinking about marketing, how they're, I came in there talking about elevator speeches. So it's just a way to be able to make sure that they're thinking things through. Let's go.
But I do this cause I live like I'ma die today. Passionate about it, you gotta have it of doubting. I got a habit of working and earning it. I am out in the city of angels. I know that they looking out for me. This is my testimony for all of y'all that been doubting me. The evidence is evident. Music is my medicine, my testament. Meant to be true to you, a legend in the making. Make the best of every moment, cause nothing lasts forever, but forever I'll be focused. Focus on the now, now,